everybody. So it's Monday. It's the official race week for Japanese Grand Prix. And we have some interesting things that have been happening. Yuki is going to be in Red Bull for his home Grand Prix. Let's give a round of applause for Yuki, shall we?
5 big booms.
We're a little bit stressed, but we wanted to give you guys some of our predictions. What do we think is going to happen during the race? Because I'm expecting this to be a fun and interesting race. Not just because of Yuki, just because this is just a pretty fun track. So we also, first, to start this off, I feel like we need to talk about the elephant in the room of the Liam and Yuki switch. So what were you guys' thoughts on this?
Stress. Stress and anxiety.
Yeah, stress. Definitely.
Stress, anxiety, anxiousness, all
terrified.
of it.
Yeah.
I'm honestly I actually have this thing pulled up from Threads. I don't know how reliable this is. I don't care. I'm just gonna still say it because it'll give me confidence either way. Because I don't know. Yuki has been saying that he thinks he's pretty confident in the car. Let me pull this up exactly. This is what he said. This is from some thread. He said that his setup will be different to Max's and that he did not find the RB21 to be tricky. And then he said something about podiums. He said that he wants to finish on the podium and that he's going to start gaining speed from FP1, figuring out his setup. I'm like, you know what?
That sounds like my goat.
I just see confidence. And
I'm glad that he's got so much confidence going into this.
I believe it. I believe him.
Because I do think that Liam started confident and then his confidence was very quickly murdered by him underperforming, which is partly to the car, but also partly to him because Max is still not last. So you can't fully blame the car, but it was partially the car. But it's I don't know. I feel like Liam had confidence and then it was very quickly killed. I feel like Yuki's confidence will be a lot harder to kill because that man has a lot of faith in himself, which is very admirable, and I'm really good for him. It just stresses me out because I'm I'm glad you think you're gonna be okay, but I'm worried.
I think adaptation is the key word that needs to happen here because Max has talked about this too, where he said the car is not fully to me. This is just simply the car is just hard to drive, and it's not just my setup. It's just that it is hard to drive. And he's I can just adapt to it. And I think that's true. I think that he can just really adapt well and some drivers can't. And I think that Yuki has the potential to adapt to it. So, and they're not going to be able to kick him out in 2 races. They're not going to be able to do that. They don't have the luxury to do that again. No. That will make the team crumble. So I think that he honestly has a better chance than Liam. And I think that he just has the more potential, I guess, because I don't know. I think that he might also have more of a similar driving style to Max for some reason. So I think that this could end well, and that's it. I don't know. I have high hopes.
I want it to end well.
I have high hopes here in this part of my brain, and in this part of my brain, I'm he's gonna crash. He's gonna crash. He's gonna do terrible. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm scared. If you look at our Meme Monday post, you could see optional replacements for if Yuki doesn't perform. We have a nice helmet Marco and a cool suit. He could be there. Max in an RB suit goes hard. So
Buzz Lightyear, he could do it.
We've already given them some options in case.
We've laid out in Meme Monday. We laid out RB some options. We also laid out Ferrari some options and choices for their future.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying fully listen to us blindly, but I am saying fully listen to us blindly because
honestly, I think that we are very smart and genius people, and so I think they will take our options into consideration. And
I think we know better than the professionals with the degrees. Of
why
course.
not? I think we're smarter, and I just think that Max would do better in the Racing Bulls. That's what I say. So, it goes. Whatever we say goes. So just listen to us and just watch what happens. We're gonna be.
I truly Ferrari. You should do a social experiment where you throw in just some random people into your strategy team. Just chuck 4 random people in as your strategist for a race. Give them a day off. Get some random people off the street. Get us. We'll do it, and you'll perform better.
I'll actually pay for it. So not even for free. I'll pay. So,
I don't need to be paid. I just want to do it.
Absolutely. And I think I would do good. So
I think
There's a
it would end up
confidence.
better than your current situation. So, I mean,
yeah.
just consider my offer. Like, I'm just saying.
Going on to that, let's go. Okay, first let's go over who we think. Now this is we all went rogue on this, and I think all three of our predictions for the podium are very unhinged and like a 2% chance of happening. But like, who cares?
It's fine.
This is what we think is gonna happen. So, who wants to go first with their podium?
Oh, I went so rogue. I can start. I went a little rogue. Because I am just I'm such a Yuki fan and a defender. So my podium, I have Lando Norris winning. I have Yuki Tsunoda P2. And my curveball, because I need him up there, I put Kimi Antonelli P3.
Oh,
yeah, baby. Yeah.
Okay.
I will, and here's what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to predict Kimi Antonelli on that podium until he gets there, because I will manifest it. It's going to happen. I'll be over here manifesting it the entire season.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Like, the moment it happens, it was all me.
It's all you.
It was all me.
She was
okay. I'll go next. I think mine's also a little questionable. If you're really trying to like put money on this and gamble, I would not suggest using our lineups personally. If you're trying to use like Grid Rivals or whatever gambling app you're using, do not use our.
Do not listen to a word we say.
Do not listen to an absolute word.
Absolutely do the opposite.
Do the opposite. Like do the opposite of the people we do. So I'm gonna put P1 Max.
Yep.
P2 Yuki.
What more did we expect?
P2 Yuki and P3 George. You know, I couldn't go crazy and put Yuki P1, okay? So I'm being realistic. Max would win. Yuki P2. And George, because George is always freaking sneaking up behind the scene of the crime and just like sneaking in there and getting P3. He's done that the past 2 races. So what's stopping him from doing it again?
Very true.
George P3.
I'm just glad you think that Dookie car can be P1.
Hey, I believe.
I'm glad you're convinced.
I just believe in Max Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda.
Did either of the McLarens start the race in your mind? Or are they just not there?
No, I have a prediction on that for later on. So
they just didn't show up.
No. I'll get into my prediction for the McLarens.
I swear to God, if you try to curse Lando here, I will literally catch a flight to Phoenix, and I will catch a flight to Phoenix.
No, I have predictions for them. So okay, we'll get into that. Okay?
Don't piss me off.
That's really fun. Ricky, give us your podium.
So I have P1 Lando, P2 Yuki, and of course P3 George. Because he's always there. No one talks about him, and then he's somehow pulling up to P3 at the end of the day. So
I don't know what kind of sorcery George Russell has going on this year, but like, I'm so serious. When that man finishes P2 in constructors and just nobody realizes it, like, do not be shocked. Because he's just there.
The consistency he has, it's only been 2 races. I don't care. Mr. Consistency.
He's cooking.
He's cooking. I don't care. Like, I mean, we'll see later on, but for now,
even the sprint race, he finished P3.
Yeah.
Like, where? I thought he did.
I don't remember.
I can't
remember. Am I crazy? I think he did.
Chinese Grand Prix, like that weekend, the Chinese weekend, I honestly was like half awake and half alive like the entire weekend.
Yeah, me too.
All like terrible times. So, all right. Well, now that we have our very realistic and very possible podiums, I think it's time to go into our predictions, just our casual predictions we think is going to happen. So, who wants to start with a couple or like one of them?
All right, I got a hot take.
Go first.
Okay. My hot take, Ferrari's not getting any points.
Oh, not points.
No points.
Woo!
No points.
I said that they're not going to
take it.
I said that they're going to have just a rough weekend. I didn't say anything specific because I think they still can get points.
Absolutely.
I don't think they're going to have a good weekend.
I don't see it going well for them. We saw how last weekend went, and that was fun, arguably. So I fear that Ferrari is just not the opposite of Mr. Consistency. And I do think that they're not going to get any points. But that's just a personal thing, because I do feel like if you've got Yuki, who's actually like not in P20 in this Red Bull, nothing against you, Liam, but I'm just saying, if Yuki's not in P20 in the Red Bull and he's up in the points, that's another position your ass is getting knocked down.
True. I said
Just
a
saying.
I said a DNF in turn 1. I don't know who. I don't know.
Can I
And
predict who?
Yes.
Jack Doohan.
No.
Sorry.
Let's all predict who we think is going to DNF the first lap. Who do we think?
I think Jack
Fernando.
Doohan, he's just driving straight into a wall. He's not even going to turn the wheel.
I need to think for a second.
I love Fernando, but I feel like he's gonna go on a three strike.
Fernando has had a rough season.
Meanwhile, Lance
Lance Stroll
Lance is carrying
put the fucking
his
chef
mark
hat
on
on,
his
ho.
back.
What?
on his back.
he was not kidding
Lance.
when he said to put him on the fantasy team. If y'all don't have Lance,
If y'all don't have Lance
I
Stroll
need to
on
take
one
my
of your
team right now.
I pray for you. Like,
and then I also said a rookie in the points. I'm thinking Isaac or Gabrielle.
I like that. I had one of mine being Liam Lawson in the points.
Okay.
I think that Liam Lawson is going to do better, pretty significantly better. Not significantly, but like better than he did in the Red Bull. I think he's going to do.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not really much of a good prediction. I feel like he will be, but I'm going to say he's going to get points.
Yeah, I feel like that's valid.
Also,
I think that car is
gonna
just
say-
fast.
I'm going to say my DNF for the first lap. I'm going to say Ollie Behrman. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Katie's gonna leave.
No. Not
Gabbie!
because I wanted to DNF.
Absolutely not.
I just have a bad feeling.
Absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely not.
Hey, you said
No.
You said Jack Dude.
I could have said Max. I'm changing my answer. Max is hitting the wall in turn 1. He's spinning out. They're not even going to repair the car for the next race weekend. He's screwed. No.
You said Jack Dude in front of a Jack Dude enthusiast, okay?
You said Ollie Behrman in front of me.
This is all personal.
Off. No.
Wow.
Do not curse him.
I knocked on wood. It's fine.
It's
I'm
not
dead,
just
bro.
me who needs him for their F1 fantasy team too. You need his ass too.
That's so true. As long as Esteban.
So you're cursing yourself.
I'll put Esteban. Dang.
That's
Esteban.
okay. Okay.
But secretly Ollie.
I'm dead, bro.
I love Ollie. I just think that's my prediction, okay? I love Ollie. He's actually one of my favorite drivers, okay? So let's relax.
It's gonna take a lot to make up for that statement.
We need to take a cool down break. We're gonna take a five
We're gonna take 5 minutes, guys. We'll be
take a
right
fiver real
back.
quick. Okay. Anyways, you guys. Okay, we need to go.
Wait a minute.
I'll say this. I think a Haas driver is going to DNF. Okay, I'll say that.
I already know what you said. I won't forget.
Dude, okay. I already said this like with Max and Yuki, but I just do think there might be a Red Bull podium, and maybe that's far-fetched. I do not care. I think the power of the Japanese Yuki fans is going to push Red Bull to the top. So
I seriously think the power of like it being Yuki's home race and him like just like absolutely sending it. I think like that man, get up there, Yuki.
he's doing it. It's
I know you
happening.
can. I
He
know
said
you
it's
can.
gonna happen. So
Yeah.
Get up there.
do you guys have any other predictions?
It's in my mind.
Pierre in the points.
Ooh.
I feel like he's been pretty consistent.
I think Pierre's doing good. I honestly think Pierre's one of the better drivers on the grid anyways. I think
so
very
too.
highly of him because I will never forget how he pushed that AlphaTauri up to a win. So you know what? That will always stay with me. And I will always think super highly of him as a driver.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
think,
exactly.
I think for sure he's gonna get the points.
Yeah,
I think so too. I truly love Pierre. It's not been as good of a season as the end of last year was.
Yeah.
I was really hoping because of how good the end of last year was for Alpine that they would come in this year and be like better than they are. But that's okay. They're not bad. I just was expecting better.
They're getting a new engine supplier. They're getting Mercedes for next year, no? Is it
I
true?
think so. Yeah.
So,
I think so.
and Mercedes is the engine favorite right now for the new regulation. So I think that next year they'll have a good year. So
Yeah. I'm excited to see like them grow because I am a huge Pierre Gasly fan. I think he's great. And I do think he's one of the best drivers.
Yep.
And so I would like to see him, like seeing him and Esteban on podiums last year was really nice because you're like, they deserve this. Like they're both really great drivers who worked their asses off to be up there in a fucking Alpine. So, but yeah, I want Alpine to do better for Pierre and possibly for whoever else is in that car between Jack Doohan or Franco.
Agreed.
Yep.
Guys, I miss Franco so bad. I just need to put it out into the universe. Not hating on Jack Doohan. I love you too. But I don't think every capacity, I miss that man.
I do too.
I think Franco should go to Cadillac with Colton Herta.
I think that Franco, well, the issue is, like, when you think about how much money Alpine paid for Franco, like, he's not going anywhere.
Flavio's got a tight grip on that boy.
Flavio, like, he paid real, like, big bucks for that man. Like, Flavio had not letting go of that hoe.
He's got some master plan with all the freaking, like, Pokemons he's collecting right now of drivers.
They have, like, 6 reserve drivers. I'm like, relax.
Well, like, my thought process is, like, he did not pay $20 million for a reserve driver. He paid $20 million with the full intent of putting Franco into that seat eventually.
I also think the amount of money could also just be like a scare tactic for Jack to like lock in. So we'll see. I think he's a very good manipulator, and that's just what he seems like. So I'm gonna assume that that's definitely.
I just need Franco back on the grid. Like I really miss him, and I'm not like saying like let's get rid of Jack. I don't care what team or seat he's in. I just miss him.
Real.
I love that man.
I also want to say that I think. Well, I already said George is gonna be on the podium, but I think that the Mercedes that Kimi and George will be top 6 at the very least. I think that Kimi will also be top 6, like lowest P6. I don't know. I feel like he's already done really great, and I just think that they'll do good at this track. So we'll see.
I think every race Kimi's getting more comfortable and getting better.
Like,
so I think
already too. It's been
I think in a few more races he'll be a lot more consistently up front with George.
Yep.
But I do think that this weekend could be a really good one for them if like Ferrari are struggling like we think they're going to, and like if there's a possibility of the Red Bull struggling, like it could be a good Mercedes weekend.
I think Mercedes are going to be top 2 in constructors.
I think it'll be McLaren P1 in constructors.
I think
Mercedes P2.
Then Red Bull / Ferrari.
Then Red Bull. I don't think Ferrari will be P3 because they're so inconsistent. I don't think that they could do it.
I think that Ferrari could possibly get their stuff together because it's so early in the season.
It's early. If they pull their shit together, maybe. Because Red Bull did have a bad start. Like, if they magically pull their shit together, it could work out. But otherwise, I think Red Bull could probably finesse it.
Yeah, I think that Yuki could possibly be a good decision for the constructors. So we'll see.
But am I crazy for saying I don't think Max is going to be world champion this year? Like, I don't see it happening. And like, I know, like, Gabbie, I'm so sorry. Like, I wouldn't be mad at it. I would love to see Max be a 5-time world champion.
I actually do not want to talk about this. I actually let's skip the topic.
No, this is my prediction. Okay.
No, I'm not
even out here to say that I think it's going to be Lando. I'm just out here to say that I don't think it's going to be him.
I did predict that he will be, and I have the faith in him. But again, I'm not going to be like so jaw-dropping shocked that if he doesn't get the world championship, because the car.
I think he'll be a very close P2, but I don't think he'll end up winning it.
The car was bad last year, and he pushed through it. But again, they had that 5-race amazing.
That car wasn't this bad last year,
and now the car it wasn't as bad last year, and they also had that 5-race head start where they were dominating. But this year, no 5-race head start dominating. And also the car is like twice as bad. So it's like, honestly, like it's not just that it's like we don't think Max can pull together. It's that the car is so genuinely bad. And they were talking about how that they were saying that the Red Bull has hit their development like top, like whatever, like the peak that it can be developed. They can't do any more about it.
Oh, no.
I remember Adrian Newey was talking about that too a while ago. So I honestly think that like Max will be like, because I heard also that Helmut Marko said that there's that Max's exit clause can be activated if they don't give him a good car by summer break. apparently, Helmut Marko said this, so who knows? But I mean, why would he say that if it's not true? Because that's a bad thing for them.
Max to Mert.
Yeah, honestly,
I think it could happen.
I don't know. I feel like Mercedes is a good option, but also Aston Martin. Because, okay, Aston Martin has Adrian Newey and Honda. That's what Red Bull has now. But also, Mercedes is like, so far, like one of the favorites for the regulations. And I think they could have a chance of going back to domination again. Yeah. So, and I don't care what Toto says, if he thinks that he wants to keep George. I don't care what you say. I know dang well that you would want Max over George.
100%.
Yeah. If he could have two of his favorite people on the entire earth on the team together, don't you know that you would?
It's like you already have your mini Max Verstappen. It's like I could also kind of think like maybe he's like, oh well, I don't need the actual Max Verstappen. I have my mini one right here. But I'm also like, I feel like
he would take him.
Why would you not have the opportunity to have Max?
He still would.
I think that a large push for Max to go to Mercedes would be if this engine that they're building for 2026 is terrible, because he's going to know a lot more about it than we ever are until 2026.
Sure.
But we've heard reports that it's not going too hot. If that continues and like it is not going hot, like I could see Max being like, well, my car's going to fucking suck. So why the hell would I stay here when I could very easily, like if I showed interest, go to a different team?
He has choice of any team he wants to go to.
Yeah. If he like ever said, "Hey, I'm looking to switch teams," everybody would be calling him.
Everybody's gonna turn into James Vowles, Carlos Sainz.
I think the only person who would not call him would be Zach Brown, and that's because that man has so much faith in his lineup. I don't think he would jeopardize that for Max.
But again, though, he did call Max's management. That was true.
He did.
He called Max's management, and I don't know if Max was making a joke or not, but it was in his like Dutch interview, and he was like, "Yeah, Zach called my management, and then learned how much I cost, and then did not further that approach." But I was like, yeah, honestly, like I don't know why I wouldn't want Max in McLaren. I don't want Max in McLaren. I think Max.
I don't think I could see, because obviously McLaren. Like, sorry to Oscar fans, but McLaren is keeping Lando. Like, they're not getting rid of him.
And Oscar just signed a multi-year contract too, though. So it's like, but you don't do that.
I don't see, if Max like says he's on the driver market, I see Toto Wolff immediately picking up that phone, but I don't see Zach Brown like really pursuing it, because I just feel like McLaren does have such a strong lineup as it is.
That I do not need Max.
Throwing Max in, like it's not going to get any better. You're already getting 1-2s. Like, because I honestly think that, because if Red Bull's making their like a new engine, like they're doing their own engine, that's like starting something all over again, and I feel like that could go very bad. And Ford was in F1 with Lotus, and their car was great. It sounded great too, but I don't see like it's not just taking a Ford engine. It's like we're using some Ford bits and pieces, but we're building this engine ourselves.
Building it up from the ground up, and I just don't know if that could go well. So
especially like I think it could go well in the future, but on your first year, like thinking about it logically, like Cadillac is gonna suck in 2026 because it's their first year as an F1 team. And like whatever it is, Audi's gonna suck their first year as an F1 team. You have to learn. Red Bull building their own engine, it's probably not going to be great because you have to learn what works and what doesn't.
Yeah,
it's not something you can just do and like be perfect at it immediately.
Yeah.
So
I never thought I would say that, but I definitely see Max going to Mercedes or Aston Martin in 2026.
I think Max to Mercedes in 2026 is very likely.
Because like again, it's like Max like has grown up with this team. Like he's genuinely been with them since he's like 16 years old. Yeah. And like those whole like entire Red Bull family is his family. But I see that he has an exit clause and he doesn't care because he's like, I want the fastest car and you guys aren't providing it to me anymore. So I don't care how long I've been with you. I want to win. Because that's his mentality. He just wants to win. Yeah. So it's not like Charles where he's just probably going to be more loyal. He's going to go where he thinks he gets the best car. And that's going to be Mercedes or Aston Martin. My prediction. I also hope, because oh my gosh, I bet he has some kind of clause that he gets to take GP with him. Because
probably
Bono, because they literally said like they wouldn't be an F1 together without each other. So I think that they're gonna do some kind of exit clause like that and they're going to go together. Because
I don't think it
see
would
them
be
that
in
one together.
Max's contract. I think it would be in GP's contract.
I
I
think
think
that'd be
somewhere
close.
in GP's contract, it probably says, like, if Max does decide to leave the team, that GP is allowed to make the choice if he wants to stay or if he wants to leave with Max.
Yeah,
I imagine that was like a clause.
It's got to be.
Because I think that was, I don't know for sure because we never found out. I imagine that Bono and Lewis might have had something similar and Bono was just like, I'll just stay. Or they didn't. We don't.
I think that I think they didn't have any, like they didn't have one because I think that was what was reported, that they weren't that he wasn't allowed to leave Mercedes with Lewis. I think that was what it is, because it was the same thing with, I forget her name, the really like platinum blonde girl that
Angela.
goes with Lewis. Yeah, Angela.
Oh, yeah.
She had the same thing. And apparently like that's why she left Mercedes and now she's able to go with Lewis Ferrari because of that. So possibility. Yeah. So
I have to imagine that GP, like, at this point has a contract that, like, clause that's like, if Max does to leave.
I do not see them in F1 separate. I do not see it. And they don't think they either. So
I have to imagine that they do. Especially, and if they didn't before, I have to imagine now with the whole Lewis and Bono thing, like, I have to imagine that kind of kicked something and being like, if Max does leave, like, I would want to be able to leave with him, and that would probably cause them to, like, add that to a contract.
And they're obviously gonna they're most likely, obviously, okay, I don't know the politics of them. I don't know their little their meetings and stuff, but I have to think that just because of how good Max is and how dominant he's been, I have to say that they would do basically anything to make him stay, which would probably be, yeah, you can take Bono, not Bono, GP with you if you want. They just do anything to keep him happy. So I'll say that.
I think Red Bull will try to hold on to him for dear life, but at the end of the day, if he's got an exit clause, he's gonna leave. He's not as team driven as Charles and Lando were, as willing as they were to stay with a team that was struggling to get to the point with that team that they wanted to be at. I think that Max is very much so, I don't give a shit what team I'm on, I just want to win.
I think he he has the mindset of that's his family, but he also has a stronger mindset of I want to win. I want to be the best car, because he said that.
I do think he cares about Red Bull. I don't think it's he doesn't give a fuck at all, but I do think he cares more about being in a good car and winning rather than staying with a team that he likes.
He doesn't want to be in F1 as long as Fernando or Lewis. He genuinely wants to leave probably by 2028. So he's obviously going to take advantage of it and just be in a faster car, because it's not like he's trying to create some kind of legacy and just be in the same team. He just wants to win and then move on to the next series and then win there and then so on and so on. So, yeah. Do you guys have any other predictions?
No.
I have one last one.
All right, throw it at us.
You're going to hate me, I feel like, because I've already dissed you. So
you just keep going.
I think that Lando and Oscar are going to fight. And I don't know if it's going to get bad. I don't know if it's going to get bad, but I just think that they could get into it this race, because I feel like they're going to be closer.
Some sass in the future.
I can just sense some sass popping up this race and them being very close. And that's why I was saying that I would put a McLaren driver, a Lando driver. I think that's why I didn't put a McLaren driver podium. Well, my podium's already unrealistic, so I just made it even more unrealistic. So I just think that they have a chance of fighting. And then that's where I think George is going to come through. So.
I think they have a chance of fighting. I do agree. But I think this year we've already seen, which pissed some people off, and I really don't understand why y'all got pissed off about the team orders. That was the weirdest thing ever, and I really do pray for all of you who got upset about that, because I don't get it. But I do think this year McLaren have been very, very smart with their team orders and have said, when it's more dangerous for them to fight, they've told them, hold your positions. You're going to be passing slower cars. Let's just hold for now. Once they cleared all that, had a bunch of open air, McLaren was like, okay, you're free to race. Just keep it clean. Yeah. And I do feel like McLaren has been a lot better with their team orders. I think they very clearly knew that last year's team orders, the driver swaps and stuff, it just was not good. As much as I do agree, the race was Oscar's race, and I get why you wanted Lando to give the position back to him. It's just a sucky situation to have to be in. Mm-hmm. But I think this year they've been a lot more smart about it, which keeps me hopeful that the battles won't be like bad to where they're like pushing and shoving and like hitting each other. But I could see battles. I just don't think they'll be like.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that they're gonna like be like, oh, I hate you, like that kind of thing. I'm just saying that they're gonna get into it. Like, I'm not saying it's gonna be dirty fighting. I'm just saying fighting, like clean fighting, dirty fighting, whatever. Because they have been great so far. But again, it's only been 2.5 races, including the sprint race. Again, like I feel like it could build up at some point because Lando's gonna be like, because Oscar's not gonna be a number 2 driver. He literally said that exact thing in Drive to Survive. He's like, no. So I think that at some point it could become a situation where it could get a little tense because it was getting a little tense last year. But they're still great teammates. I just think that they will get more into it at the longer the season goes on. Yeah, I just think that they'll have some battles this race. So
I truly think McLaren is the best at like the Zach Brown's alleged 2 number 1 driver mentality. Like everybody was like, it's never gonna work. It's working. Weirdly, I didn't expect it to work. It's working. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're the only ones who have managed to be like, we have 2 number 1s and we love them both equally, and like we treat whoever's in front with like priority. And I think that that's such a good way to go about it because it doesn't create like awkward tension within the team. Like if Lando's leading the race, he gets to make that first call. If Oscar's leading the race, he gets to make that first call.
Yeah,
like, I think that it works so far. Not saying that they can't fuck it up because they could. So far, I was expecting it to crash and burn very, very early on because I'm like, yeah, how the fuck are you gonna handle 2 number 1
I think it's gonna simmer.
Fighting for championships now, both championships? How are you gonna manage 2 number 1 drivers? But it's working. And I hope it keeps working because it's like it's not stressful for me. So
I have a feeling it might like be one of those things like where you're like boiling pasta, you know, and you have like the cover on, but then you like let it they be there for too long, and then it starts like bubbling over. So that's what I'm predicting is gonna happen.
Scary.
I'm stressed, but I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed that McLaren are gonna be smart this season and not make mistakes.
We'll see who's right in the end, I guess.
Yeah, truly.
All right. Well, anyways, those are all of our predictions. We talked about basically everything under the sun that's related to the Japanese Grand Prix and more. So we'll see you guys after the Japanese Grand Prix next weekend. So hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you for watching / listening. We'll see you next time.